822. When I'm in church and I look up and see the giant crucifix of Jesus over the altar, my mind starts to daydream about what it would be like to have sex with him. I mean, he looks pretty hot. A little thin, but still pretty hot.
830. My wife is having an affair. She thinks I don't know, but I found the letters in her sweater drawer. I knew even before that though. I could see it in the way she sometimes stared out the window, her thoughts a million miles away. The phone calls from her office which suddenly had to be handled in another room. The newfound eagerness for the gym. A rekindled interest in her lingerie collection, long since retired. It made me wonder enough to look around. It's how I found the letters. But what now? If I bring it to the forefront, it will force her hand. She will have to leave me both literally and figuratively. I'm not sure I want that. Even part of her is better than none of her. For now, I leave the secret intact. I applaud my restraint. But I despise my lack of bravery.
839. I still suck my thumb. I am 30.
840. For years I dated jerks who couldn't communicate or talk about their feelings. Now I'm dating someone who does just that. Every time I come home we have to have a sit-down talk about something in our relationship. I really wish he would just shut the hell up.
847. It's so important to him that I swallow. So I do. I smile, I laugh, I giggle, I swallow. Inside, I'm gagging.
875. My sister told me you couldn't get pregnant the first time you did it. I proved her wrong.
913. It does not matter who I'm dating. I always sleep with 2 or 3 of his friends.
974. I had sex with a boy on prom night but he wasn't my date.
1008. I believe I qualify as a MILF, even if no one else does.
1126. Sometimes I go into the bakery just to smell the bread baking. I don't buy anything. I just breathe it all in. But before I leave, I always make sure to jingle the coins in my pocket. I smell their bread. They hear my money. Seems fair.
1183. I have an email in my inbox at work which I have never opened. It is from a guy I used to work with. A real nice fellow. We always had a good banter going. He wrote it on a Friday and then the next day, he died in a motorcycle accident. I'm not sure why I don't open it. I'm sure it is nothing important, probably just work-related junk. But I feel maybe as long as I don't open it, he is still somehow there.
1189. After you leave the doctor's office, the staff, including the doctor, really do say nasty and critical things about you. I should know. I work there.
1221. I have a little keepsake from all of my old girlfriends. Nothing perverted like panties or anything. But pleasant things. Like from one, I have the pen from the hotel we went to. From another, I have her broken watch. Silly things. My wife just thinks it's old junk in my bedside drawer, but to me, it's so much more.
1266. For a moment, I considered the possibility of the stick shift in my car.
1364. I want my wife to die. Every time she goes away on business, I pray for a plane crash. Please Satan, take your daughter back.
1446. I'm 29 and I still don't know who my father is. And my mother has always refused to tell me anything about him. Sometimes I make up stories as to why. Maybe he is in prison for life after killing a man who mistreated my mother. Or maybe he's a cello player from the big city Philharmonic Orchestra and I'm the result of a one-night stand after their tour bus broke down on Main Street. I've always loved the sound of the cello. Maybe he is just a plumber or an ordinary house painter, which is fine by me. Or maybe he died in a plane crash. Or maybe by a stray bullet as he bravely shielded my mother. Maybe he bumped his head and has been wandering the country trying to figure out who he is, working odd jobs here and there, but always moving on knowing he is looking for something but unable to remember what it is. That it's me. Well, I'm right here, Dad. I'm right here waiting for you.
1526. I once wore my best gray wool skirt to work, forgetting there was a semen stain on the back of it.
1545. I just got back from a second tour in Iraq, plus a tour in Afghanistan when the war there started. I have killed so many people I should be a basket case. I once had to shoot a kid of about 10 because he and his dad were shooting at us. I don't feel any remorse. I wonder if I ever will.
1594. When my wife is away for the weekend, I spray a little of her perfume on my pillow before I go to bed.
1672. I've kept track of how many times my husband and I have had sex. We are up to 623 in 3 years. Not bad, huh? And it's going to be 624 in about an hour.
1677. I thumbed through my wife's fashion magazines, hoping to catch a picture of an exposed boob.
1763. After 9/11, I posted my name on websites that listed missing or dead victims who were in the buildings, hoping that a friend or family member or anybody would call to see if I was okay. Nobody ever did.
1768. I wish I was a Jedi.
1772. The first time I ever kissed a guy, 18, was the first time I had sex. All or nothing, baby.
1775. When we were first married, I baked my wife a birthday cake. I was trying to do something special, but she was so mean about it, saying it tasted awful and saying I was too cheap to buy her a fancy one from a bakery. So now, every year I make sure to buy her the cheapest, ugliest birthday cake I can find. I'd even buy a stale one if I could.